My last question has to do with whether you had a philosophy of how to be a father and how to raise a son, and if you did, if that's changed or if it's being developed.
I don't know. I don't think I've had like a very, very strong sense one way or another. I think you sometimes hear about people who like very adamantly want to raise their kids. I feel like it's polar opposites, either exactly like they were raised or like exactly the opposite to how they were raised based on what their experience was like with their family. But um like I had a very positive familial experience. So did Michelle. I think that we've got a lot of things that we want to try to like values that we want to instill in them. But um in general, I think that exposure is like the best thing you can do to a kid. Like I think we just want to expose them to as many different types of scenarios and different types of people and different situations as we possibly can. Um, and then I think that, yeah, like it makes you check your own behavior maybe a little bit, because I think that um, them seeing the way you behave in groups or the way you interact with people, I think uh, kids pick up on that stuff more than maybe people realize. So, um, yeah, I think that trying to be a positive example is really like all we can be. And I think that we thus far in our lives have worked very hard. And so I think if we continue to do that and do the things that we've done to get us where we are in life, we shouldn't have any trouble. But I think my like our general philosophy is like lots of exposure. I don't want to make decisions for my kids, but I want them to be equipped with all the information that they need to make the right decisions for them, right? And just be, I don't know, as open as you can to whatever decisions people make. Again, understanding that social situations change and culture changes, and by the time my kid's 20 and telling me about certain things, like I may not know the first thing about it if I haven't really kept up. So,
Right.
um, I think that to a certain degree, I want to build a level of trust that, like, not only that they can trust us, but that I can trust them. And at the end of the day, like, whatever decision they're going to make, um, I think will be whatever they need or they feel that they need at the time. And it's okay to make wrong decisions because that's how you learn. And I think that the lessons that stick with you the most are the one that the choices you made on your own, and like you learn from those things. So you can be told 10 different ways till Sunday, but like when you make a decision yourself and then you suffer some form of consequence, either positive or negative, I think that it's that much more reinforcing. So yeah, I don't know, I think just exposure and trust are kind of important to us, and then we'll see what happens from there.
Yeah, it's funny you should mention that idea of like making this, like basically setting your son up to make decisions and learn from the consequences, positive or negative. My dad has this saying, and he has been saying it my entire life. And to this day, he can now just like start saying it, and it's like, okay, I get it, I get it, I completely get it. And it's this saying that is, uh, I can show you that if I drop this glass, it's going to break. But until you drop the glass and it breaks, you're not going to understand what that means.
Yeah,
And so he's been
yeah,
saying that to me since I was a child, like since I was like 8, basically. Like ever since I could understand the words, he's been saying that thing to me. So like nowadays, if I ask him about something, or it's like, hey, what would you do in this situation? Or like, hey, I'm dealing with this. What do you think I should do? He'll like pick up a glass and he'll like show me the glass. I'm like, okay, I get it. I get it. I completely get it. I'll figure it out. Like, I appreciate your input on this. Like, thanks for like your help, like the decision making process, but I get it. The decision is mine. I'll figure it out.
right.
Like, so
Yeah, I think
yeah,
I
there's
think that
funny stuff
we've
there.
like we do lots of like, I don't know, we're nerdy. Like we'll read stuff and gather information. I think we like to be organized and make decisions with the best information possible. So like I like to think we're reasonably informed and whatever, but a lot of the reading that I've done on various different like parenting things and whatever, and in general, what you kind of see when you look around is like I think that it's important for kids to have some form of agency, and I think that's kind of, to me, the problem with like the helicopter parenting kind of generation is when you take that away, kids don't really learn anything, or they're less, I don't know, it's just like things don't stick with them. They're never allowed to make mistakes, and it's just how you learn. Like, yeah, you don't want your kids to make like life changing grave mistakes, but I think that this concept of like constant protection and sheltering your kids from anything bad is just like not really good, in my opinion. I think that you need to have people make decisions and learn, like I said, like consequences, positive or negative. Like, I think that a kid experiences more of a high off a positive if they got to make that decision, then they get to like reap the benefits of it. I think the concept is just setting your kids up into situations where you're kind of manipulating the decision process, or you're maybe setting them up in a way where you're giving them decisions, but like both decisions are lead to outcomes that you kind of want.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that, but it teaches kids to make decisions and to like be decisive and make decisions and deal with what happens afterwards, where it's like, I don't know, like, okay, like you can do this, but first you have to, if you want to do this, you've got to do this. Or, okay, like, I don't know, I'm going to make you a sandwich. Do you want it cut vertically or diagonally?
Yeah.
Like little things that just teach kids to like, oh, like I have some agency and I
Yeah,
can
the
make
agency
decisions.
is
And
very
then,
important. Yeah.
and I think that that's an important thing that I think is we're going to try to do is give kids options regularly, and whether or not they're for big things, or like I said, maybe you're like funneling them. So you're going to make one or two decisions and they're both going to steer you this way, which is where we want to go. It's like, that's great. Like, I think that the more you do that though, then they get comfortable making decisions. And then you don't have kids who lean on you for every little thing. I think they come to you for guidance or things like that, but they don't want me to make their decisions for them. And that's what I want, is a kid who's confident, who has, you know, the skills and basically, yeah, just the confidence that they can tackle different tasks and do new things and not be scared of new experiences. So at the end of the day, if I can do that, and then I've done my job. Owen's just smiling and laughing like crazy on his little chair right now.
I can hear him in the background, dude. I really appreciate the time. You've given me like way more time than I actually originally asked for, and I appreciate it so much. The conversation has been super great. Like, one of the reasons why I'm doing this is because I'm a new dad, and so I'm trying to talk to dads who are like in my situation, who have like a bunch of kids, who have like grown kids, who have like different types of careers, and almost like learn, like be a conduit for myself learning about other people's approaches, but also for like other people to listen and learn approaches themselves. So
Yeah, well,
this
I
has
know
been
when
awesome.
you asked me, that's kind of what I said. Is that like, look, I'm also a new dad. Like, I'm looking to learn more than I am to provide information myself. But I think it's, you learn through talking through your problems sometimes too, right? And I think hearing other people and I think that a lot of the things that people struggle with, or the things that people experience, are really common and ubiquitous, right? So I think I know I certainly, it's almost like a form of therapy to like talk through things. So I think it's good. It's like really nice to talk through things and chat with somebody who's has shared experience, and it's fun, right? So I think we stand to learn a little bit, or if nothing else, you just kind of come to terms with how you feel about certain things, and
Yeah.
learn a little about yourself too. So it's my pleasure, man. I think this is fun stuff to talk about for us right now.